Alrighty, welcome back, fellas. Now that we got the 10th anniversary banners all out in the open, I think now is a great time to go ahead and talk about some of the better leaders from the 10th anniversary as a whole. So today, I want to go ahead and do just that. Hopefully, you guys will enjoy the vid. If you do, you know what to do. Of course, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, comment down below your thoughts. Let's go ahead and just get right on into this. Now, first of all, before I go any further, let me just say, obviously we have 4 major banners going on, 2 Carnival banners and 2 Dokkan Fest banners, one right here for the Dokkan Fest Super Gogeta and one right here for the Dokkan Fest Super Vegeta. But all of the characters in this vid, as you guys will notice, only come from the Dokkan Fest banner. Now, the reason why I have it in this sort of fashion is because in this vid, I am only focusing on the leader's skills. Now, obviously, 10th anniversary LRs like Super Saiyan 3 Goku right here, characters like Carnival Gohan and other things like that, they are still really powerful, really great characters. But I am only focused on the leader skill, not the passive, not the links, not the categories. So because of that, Carnival LRs and Yellow Coin LRs, as you guys will obviously know by now, they don't have the best leader skills necessarily compared to characters in the Dokkan Fest banner. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and say right there. That's just why I want to make sure it's clear before we go ahead and get into this. Now, besides that, I also have these characters kind of paired up into sets of 2, just because there are counterparts between the banners, so I think it's only fair in that sort of regard. So that's how I have it set up. Let's just go ahead and just get started talking about this with the new kids on the block, of course, with the 10th anniversary LRs. Now, of course, I'm talking about Super Vegito and Super Gogeta. And, in terms of the kits, I will say in general, even though I'm not factoring the kits in terms of the leader skills, I will say we all can kind of tell they made sure that Gogeta and Vegito feel like 1A, 1B in terms of how they are designed overall. However, I will say when it comes to the leader skill, I think that is I think the leader skill is one of those areas where there is a bigger gap between the 2 characters, and I will say right now at least, I am much more preferring of Super Vegito's leader compared to Gogeta's leader. And it does hurt me because I like Gogeta more personally, but at the same time, when it comes to the leader skill, I think the difference favors Vegito more, and the biggest reason why is the difference between Earth Protecting Heroes versus Successors. Both are the new 10th anniversary categories. Obviously, both of them still lead Fuse Fighters, Pure Saiyans. For Gogeta, he gives the 50% for Fusion and Gifted Warriors, while Vegito gives 50% for Earthbred Fighters and Potara. But really, the biggest difference is Earth Protecting Heroes versus Successors, and the reason why is what's in the category. So when we look at Earth Protecting Heroes right here, you see, of course, Super Vegito is the leader. That's fine, that makes sense. Also, though, you have Gogeta, you have Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, Super Saiyan 3 Goku from the 10th anniversary, of course, Carnival Gohan, Beast Gohan, Gogeta, the Super Saiyan trio right here, all these different kinds of characters, right? When you go ahead and look at something like Successors, on the other hand, Successors only has a certain set of characters. Vegeta, Frieza, Beerus, characters like them, Zamasu, Piccolo. So, because of that, the issue with this whole kind of category is that it's very limiting in terms of what it has to offer. Toppo is there, of course. There are certain characters like them. But you don't see any Gohans. You don't see other characters like them who should be like, some of the better characters they use in the game period, but they don't fit onto Successors. However, they do show up on Earth Protecting Heroes. So, because of that alone, I am easily willing to say that Vegito's lead is the better of the 2, because at least he is covering a category that includes dominant characters like Beast Gohan, like Carnival Gohan, where Successors, yes, it's nice, it has some cool kind of characters to include, like Zamasu, I guess, like Beerus and everything, but at the same time, it's clear that there is a night and day difference, it feels like, between the 2 categories in particular. Now, besides that, the characters are still pretty much the same as far as the leader skill is concerned overall, and actually I will say, the interesting thing about, the Gogeta unit is that with his lead, he will be able to give the full kind of leader skill boost for the Fusion category, and if you guys remember, 2 major EZAs are going to be coming for the Fusion category with the 7th anniversary LRs with the Super Saiyan 4s and the Tech Gods, so it's going to be interesting because with this, I think there could be an argument that Gogeta's leader skill will be a lot better depending on how these EZAs come out and how the teams kind of get formatted, but it's kind of interesting, and for the time being, without the EZAs and everything, for sure, Super Vegito's lead is better when it comes to the 2 leader skills only, so that's what I'll say right there. Going on to our next pair, though, this is an OG kind of pair for a lot of people, but of course, we have the We Saiyans Have No Limits Blue Duo, or Vegito Blue, as well as the Corrupted Merge Zamasu right here, both the 2023 Worldwide Celebration characters. Now, when it comes to these 2 specifically, let me just go ahead and say this for what it is. I actually talked about these characters in my last Best Leaders kind of vid for the 9th anniversary, for when Global was doing the whole 9th anniversary, and these 2 characters, in my opinion, have some of the best leader skills to this day. In fact, I think you can maybe make the argument that their leader skills are still better than the 10th anniversary LRs. And the reason why I say that, before you guys go ahead in the comments and cook me, is because of this extra kind of gimmick that both of the characters have to offer with the leader skills. So, for the both of them, right, they have the general same kind of format where they cover 3 categories for the main kind of boost, plus extra 2 more categories for that 30% boost right there. So for Vegito Blue, Battle of Fate, Future Saga Power Beyond Super Saiyan, and then the extra 30% for Realm of Gods and Time Travelers. For Zamasu, it's Realm of Gods, Worldwide Chaos, Fused Fighters for the 170, plus 30% for Time Travelers and Final Trump cards. So very simple, very straightforward, nothing too crazy, right? What makes this special though is the extra part. So for Vegito Blue, of course, Vegito Blue is a character where with the leader skill, you can give super class allies, doesn't matter what category they're in, Ki plus 3, HP attack and defense plus 150% if they don't meet any of these 3 categories. For Zamasu, it's the same kind of thing where if they don't fit any of these 3 categories but they are extreme class characters, they will still get 150% to their stats. Now, these 2 gimmicks right here are so important because, yes, these characters nowadays, they're so old, they're not exactly that good anymore, and no one should be expecting them to be that good. But at the same time, when it comes to these 2 leader skills especially, these are some of the most versatile and best leader skills in the game because especially for new players, maybe you don't have all of the characters to fit into some of the better teams, into some of the better categories. So because of that, you may need to resort to using a team like the Blue Duo lead teams or everything like that, or the Zamasu lead teams or everything like that, because these leaders, they will give you that extra kind of net to cover more units than maybe you have in your roster that you couldn't necessarily use otherwise. So that's what I'll say about them. Again, if you ask me, I think you can make the argument that they're the better leaders in the entirety of the game. I still personally prefer Gogeta and Vegito's lead, and obviously if you have the teams, the Vegito lead and the Gogeta lead just no diff the rest of the game in my opinion, especially the Vegito lead, because, you know, the characters are so dominant and the leads are still really good, so that's what I'll say there. But these 2 leads are still nothing to sleep at or nothing. They're just so awesome in their own right, so definitely got to give credit where credit is due. Alright, our next pair. So this is for the 9th anniversary. So we have Beast Gohan and 9th anniversary Super Saiyan Broly. So I will say right now, both of these characters possess really nice leader skills that cover some categories that otherwise you may not see a lot of categorical love right now in terms of the better kind of leads, I guess, in that sort of sense. But especially, I feel like that can be especially said with Super Saiyan Broly, because he of course leads Transformation Boost, Full Power, but also Super Bosses. There are not that many leaders for the Super Bosses category if we look at that, of course, but also Broly is one of the better leads for the category. The only other lead who is as good as Broly is Super Saiyan Rose, and let's be honest, Super Saiyan Rose is not even, in my opinion, as good as Broly. So Broly is the best lead for the category. He covers some really nice categories, of course, and also between Transformation Boost and especially Full Power, if we look at that, right, that covers a lot of great characters from the 10th anniversary, like Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, Go Frieza, Super Saiyan Blue Evolved Vegeta. You still have Beast Gohan there, you know, Carnival Broly, you know, other characters like them. So Broly has a leader skill that covers a lot of powerful units, even though he may not be necessarily a leader that you think is a great option to use, but he still has a really kind of nice set of leader skill categories to cover. Also, the extra 30% for movie bosses and Exploding Rage, that is nice, of course, but to be fair, I think if you're going to look at the whole 30% and everything, you would look more so at movie bosses than Exploding Rage. Nowadays, that may change because with Exploding Rage, a lot of new characters have been introduced into the field, like Super Saiyan 2 Gohan and such, so obviously, you know, characters like them would make this whole kind of extra 30% a lot better. But, you know, Broly still has a really nice leader skill, a very general kind of leader skill format, but still a very effective one, especially considering he's covering some of the lesser kind of, the lesser utilized categories in that sort of regard. For Beast Gohan, he's a bit of a different kind of story in that sort of sense, because everyone knows about this character. Pretty much everyone who has this character uses this character with some of the better teams. But you, at the same time, nowadays, you don't really want to use his leader skill. And the reason why is because, you know, you'd be much better off running him in some of the other kind of leader skills that are out there. Like, for example, maybe you want to use him with Demonic Power, throw him under a Glorio team. If you have Glorio, for example, you could go ahead and do that. The support would be crazy with double Glorio support and everything like that. Earthbred Fighters, you know, has some nice kind of options there, but that's not really a category you want to run him with, like, the lead and everything. But Earth Protecting Heroes, we go back to that again. Earth Protecting Heroes is such a strong category, and Beast Gohan makes this category so strong, of course, but Vegito is the leader. So, in that sort of regard, you're probably better off nowadays running Beast under other category leads and everything, as opposed to running double Beast. But at the same time, you know, Beast has a lot of nice things to offer. You know, the 30% for Entrusted Will, and especially movie heroes, that is really good. But also leading superheroes, leading Bond and Master and Disciple, leading Miraculous Awakening, those are all really good stuff. I mean, between, you know, superheroes and Miraculous Awakening, there are a bunch of characters that Beast covers with the 10th anniversary, right? Like Super Saiyan Blue Evolved Vegeta, Super Saiyan 3 GT Goku right here, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. If we go into superheroes, technically he does cover Go Frieza as well because of the Goku part of that unit, so a lot of nice things, of course. But at the same time, I will admit, I don't think Beast Gohan's leader skill, or Broly's leader skill for that matter, are leader skills that nowadays people want to run compared to some of the newer units, compared to some of the other units I've already mentioned. So that's what I'll say right there, even though these two units are still pretty powerful and pretty nice to use in a lot of situations. So that's what I'll say there. Next up on our list, so now we're going to the Worldwide Celebration campaign for our last Worldwide Celebration, right? So 2024, we have the Super Saiyan Trio and the Int Dokkan Fest Broly. Now, I will say, Broly is, in my opinion, a far better leader because of the categories that he covers. But the Super Saiyan Trio also has some nice categories in their side of things as well. So, with their leader skill, you know, All Out Struggle is a nice category to cover, Power Wishes, but also Super Saiyans. And this is a category that has gotten a massive buff because of all the 10th anniversary kind of buffs that have been going on. Of course, you know, extra 30% for movie heroes or Connected Hope, but particularly with Super Saiyans, obviously you're including two really powerful characters with the Super Vegito and the Super Gogeta. You have Carnival LR Gohan, so all those things are really important to consider because, you know, I don't like to talk about the kits and this sort of thing, but obviously when people consider using the Super Saiyan Trio lead, it's because they want to get the double support. That's really why they want the double lead. But at the same time, the leader skill is good enough that you can actually make this a viable choice because of all the new characters, because of what's going on. So I will say, I think the Super Saiyan Trio is a fantastic leader. Even now, you maybe don't want to necessarily run them, but if you were able to do so, if you want to run the lead, this is a great choice for sure with a lot of the new characters in that sort of regard. So that's something right there. Going at in Dokkan Fest Broly, though, I said it earlier, I'll say it again. I think his leader skill is much better because he covers categories that you just don't see a lot of love for in that sort of regard. I mean, Uncontrollable Power, Revenge, Planetary Destruction, you guys have probably seen it on Twitter and like through videos and everything. Broly's stock has risen so significantly since the 10th anniversary, and it's not even funny. But, I mean, when we talk about what he has to offer, right, when we look at these three categories in particular, look at Uncontrollable Power. He is the leader for this category. The other one is the free-to-play, you know, Prime Battle LR Bio Broly, so you don't necessarily need Broly to lead this category, but Broly is the better leader of the two by far, of course. And also, I mean, this is a pretty strong category with characters like Janemba, like Cell Max, Boo Tanks, Broly, of course, Carnival Broly right there, Bio Broly, Super Saiyan 3, GT Goku, of course, you know, so this category is pretty strong. Revenge, of course, leading that category. You know, you see characters, again, like Super Saiyan 3, GT Goku right there. You know, you have a bunch of different characters. I mean, the Tech Broly right there, so all sorts of nice stuff there. Of course, being a leader for this category is huge too, because the only other good leader for this category specifically is the AGL Bardock. And yes, he got his EZA early in 2024, but there is a night and day difference between the two units, so that's a big difference right there. And also Planetary Destruction. I mean, Planetary Destruction has some good leaders, like the Int Broly, of course, with the EZA, like the AGL Dokkan Fest Frieza, but Broly still clears this in my opinion, and this category actually has gotten a massive boost as well, because you have the Carnival Broly, you have the Dokkan Fest Broly, you have other characters like them. We're expecting the EZA for the Saiyan Saga Vegeta right here, and also, we got the EZA for Full Power Frieza, and Frieza is actually a menace, especially on a team like this. You have Beerus right there, so yeah, this category is very fun, of course, and again, Broly leads these categories that otherwise you maybe don't have a great option for the leader skills, so that's what makes Broly so special. And also, he is a 30% lead for characters in movie bosses, transformation boost, and pure Saiyans, right? So that is massive. Compared to the Super Saiyan Trio, the trio only covers 2 categories for their leader skill, right? For the 30%. For Broly, he's got 3. Movie bosses is a great category, pure Saiyans is great, transformation boost is great. So in that sort of regard, Broly is a fantastic leader. In fact, I would probably argue that you could jump him on this list, but I'm only keeping him here because he is obviously like the counterpart of the Super Saiyan Trio, but he is that awesome. So I know I've been talking about him for a while now, but yeah, I can't sing enough his praises when it comes to his leader skill because of what he has to cover, what he is doing that other units can't cover with their leader skills, so that's credit I gotta give to Broly. Next up, now we got a very exciting kind of pair right here with the 7th anniversary LRs. Now, the reason why I want to key in on these two especially, and I want you guys to key in on them with me, is because obviously we are expecting and we are going to get these two EZAs some point during this 10th anniversary. So when that happens, the kits will be updated, the passive skills will be updated, but also the leader skills will be updated as well. And for the Super Saiyan 4s, right, they already have a pretty nice leader skill, right? Remember, these two characters, right, with the Tech Gods and the Super Saiyan 4s, were the first characters to introduce the whole 200% leader skill kind of system, right, in the 7th anniversary. But with the Super Saiyan 4s, right, they have GT heroes, but also they cover fused fighters, and they give the extra 30% for Kamehameha category characters, which there are a lot of them. But with fused fighters, if we look at that, of course, you see, of course, Gotenks, right? You see, you know, Gogeta, the 7th anniversary LRs, the Tech Gogeta, STR Super Vegito. Also, though, and I skipped them on purpose, you see this, you know, Super Vegito and Super Gogeta right here. Now, you probably could easily say that these two are the better leaders to use because of the stats. You probably would use these leaders, but still, if you don't have them because you were like unlucky or nothing, if you didn't get lucky with your pulls, this character could be very good as far as the leader skill is concerned. So that's definitely something that has to be paid attention to. I didn't even look at GT Heroes quite yet, but obviously GT Heroes is going to include something like the Tanabata Goku, like themselves, the 7th anniversary LRs, of course, but also the 10th anniversary Super Saiyan 3, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, who is a dominant figure. So, I mean, this is definitely a nice kind of leader skill right there, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do with the EZA. We don't know exactly what they could do with the stats and everything, but this is definitely a really powerful leader skill, especially with all the fused fighter characters nowadays, so definitely something to kind of pay attention to. The better leader skill, though, definitely the Tech Gods. They were considered the better leader skill back when they released, and nowadays I think it's going to be the same situation overall, but we'll have to kind of wait and see, because the thing is about them, they cover Power Beyond Super Saiyan and movie heroes, and obviously that's the whole 170% plus the extra 30 for Kamehameha. But, you know, they don't cover fused fighters, and, you know, with Power Beyond Super Saiyan, yes, they're covering some things like Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, Super Saiyan 3 GT Goku, Super Saiyan Blue Evolved Vegeta, but obviously, we're not talking about the better characters when it comes to this category, right? Like, the best LRs in the game are easily Super Vegito and Super Gogeta. I think number 3, maybe you can argue, is like Super Saiyan 3 Goku. But obviously Super Gogeta and Super Vegito are the better ones, and they're not a part of this category, so that's already a bit of a concern. But Movie Heroes saves this because Super Gogeta is going to be on this category. But, you know, at the same time, not having Super Vegito does suck. That's something that the Super Saiyan 4s have in their favor, is that they at least have both of the Dokkan Fest fusions. So that's something, though. But I mean, when we look at the Tech Gods, they still cover Carnival Gohan, the Super Saiyan Trio, Beast Gohan, of course, the Gammas, others like them, of course. I mean, we go back to like Power Beyond Super Saiyan, those 3 10th anniversary LRs are still something to include in this team. So you have people like them, you have the Brolys, of course. So both of these characters are going to have very exciting leader skills, in my opinion, and ones to look out for with the EZAs, because with the EZAs, we don't know what the stats are going to be, but for sure we know these were some of the better leader skills when they released because of the characters they included, because of the categories they covered, so this is something to pay attention for sure. So definitely look out for these two with the EZAs and everything. These two are going to be very great leaders for sure. And then the last two I want to cover is going to be the 8th anniversary LRs. Now, I definitely did not save the best for last, and in fact, I probably would say that I saved the worst for last, if you will. But the reason why I saved them for last is because I don't think you want to look at these two as some of the better leaders to use compared to all of the other characters. Now, yes, they do have some nice things to cover. Both cover Power of Wishes, which, to be fair, has some okay units, but at the same time, it doesn't really have all of the units that you would want. So Power Wishes, they have things like Carnival Gohan, Super Saiyan Trio, the GT Goku right here, but they don't have the Super Saiyan Blue Evolved Vegeta, Go Frieza, they don't have Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Because of this, I mean, because of this category, they don't have Super Vegeta or Super Gogeta, so this category alone is kind of another kind of concerning thing for them specifically. Now with the GT kind of unit right here, like the GT duo, I will say Battle of Fate is a massive W for them. Now, they're not the best leader for this category, technically. The best leader for this is Go Frieza, but they are an arguably better leader, I guess, for a new player because they cover more categories, I guess, so you can have like a bit of a back and forth there. But when it comes to the GT duo, they still cover Battle of Fate, which includes Super Saiyan 3 Goku, which includes Go Frieza, which includes Beast Gohan, which includes Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, so obviously this kind of category being their leader kind of saves them in that sort of regard, so that is a massive W for them. Covering Final Trump Card, Shadow Dragon Saga, that is really nice as well, but really it's Battle of Fate that makes this leader so good for them, even though nowadays they're probably one of the worst units on this banner, so that's kind of tough for the 10th anniversary, but it is what it is. The Z Duo, they're kind of in a similar kind of boat, where Power Wishes, obviously we just saw it, that's not going to do too much for them, but Final Trump Card does give them a few nice things. Obviously, this gives them the 10th anniversary fusion, so, you know, you can let me know, like, but me personally, I think I would prefer the Z Duo lead over the GT Duo lead, specifically because, like, you're giving me the 10th anniversary fusions, where the GT Duo does not do that, so because of that, I think I would prefer this leader, even though obviously I'm not going to run a double Z Duo lead at this point in time, but their leader skill, I think, is going to be pretty nice because of this specifically. Obviously, you see things like Gotenks, you see the Gammas, Cell Max is there, by the way, but, I mean, the 7th anniversaries are right there, so I think overall, they're like in a similar boat with the GT Duo, where they have some nice things to offer with their leader skills, still not even close to the leader skills that you would want to use, but they still are kind of versatile in that sort of regard. They cover some nice categories, and overall, I mean, they have some nice things to offer when it comes to leader skill alone. So those are things to definitely consider, but that is going to be how we have to go ahead and kind of tie the bow on this and finish this off, because obviously we just talked about a bunch of leaders. Again, if you ask me, I think the best leaders by far are Super Vegito and Super Gogeta. I think Super Vegito as a whole is the best leader at this point in time compared to Super Gogeta even, so the best leader right there. I think overall, especially for new players, Vegito Blue and Fusion Zamasu are like the second best set of leaders, because at least they have that extra 150% for extreme class and super class allies for new players who maybe don't have the teams. Then we can go ahead and talk about Beast Gohan and Broly, where they cover those categories that maybe you don't necessarily have all like the best characters of, but they cover those categories, and especially in terms of Beast, right? And Broly too, to a degree, like they still cover some of the 10th anniversary characters, so they're good. The Super Saiyan trio, and especially like in Broly, they have some great leads, but in Broly covers so many categories that you just don't have any other great units to lead those categories right now, and Broly is so important for that. So that's why you see a lot of people coining him. He's so awesome. The 7th anniversary LRs, right now they cover some good categories, but their leader skills are not perfect. They need the EZAs. When they get the EZAs, they may be in contention for some of the best leaders, period, because of the stats and everything, but we'll have to wait and see, but they're going to be exciting. And then, yeah, the Z Duo, they're just there. They have some good leader skills, but definitely not ones that I would write home about saying, yeah, I'm definitely going to use the Z Duo or the GT Duo today because they got leader skills I want to try out. So that's what I'll say right there. And that's going to be where we have to end this vid. Again, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Of course, it was a bit lengthy, of course, but if you guys enjoyed it, be sure to drop a like again, subscribe to the channel, of course, show your support, and comment down below your thoughts on all of these characters, what you guys think about them, if you guys have had a chance to use them and everything. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.